Welcome to Creepy and Geeky. I'm your host, Robert, and on today's episode, I'm talking to my daughter, Katrina, about Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, for the final episode in my Catherine Newton series. Welcome back to the show, Katrina.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a little bit, not too long since you've last
Yeah.
been here. Um, but this is the last movie we're doing for this series. This wasn't a series that originally featured her, but she gets to now be a co-star in this sequel to the follow-up of Ready Player One, or Ready Player One, Ready or Not. I keep doing that, like in my brain. I keep thinking Ready Player One, but Ready or Not, the original Ready or Not. So, um, yeah, no, this to me, this was a really fun sequel. I enjoyed a lot of the extra lore that was now added to it. Um, and a lot of the great actors who are playing in this movie as
Mhm.
well. Um, just added a whole bunch to it, in my opinion. What did you think of the movie
I
after
liked
you
it.
watched it? Yeah. Um, that's it. You liked it.
Yeah. I
Not going to
mean, I
expand on it.
think I think that I don't know. It did a good job. I wasn't expecting that much, obviously, from it like normal, whenever I go into any of these movies. So,
Right.
um, but I was pleasantly surprised by this. Um, I think that they did a really good job at making it similar to the previous one without like making it a copy,
Yeah.
and it was different enough that I don't know. I liked it because like that was a big worry for me going into the movie was that they were just going to do the same thing that they did in the first movie, just now with her sister
Right.
involved, Catherine Newton's character. And then but they actually like I feel like they really fleshed out Catherine Newton's character pretty well
Yeah.
and made all of the other new characters to feel really good with the time that we had with them. Um, and that's kind of hard to do, especially with a sequel.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't know, I just think they did a really good job.
Yeah. No, I agree. Um, I think it kind of expanding the scope out a little bit, and because the first one was all done in the one house, and now this was done on the grounds of um like a like I don't know, like I think it's like a hotel or something.
Hmm.
But it's um but this is the kind of the synopsis of the whole movie. It says double or nothing. Moments after surviving an all-out attack from the Lodomus family, Grace discovers she's reached the next level of the nightmarish game, and this time with her estranged sister Faith at her side. Grace has one chance to survive, keep her sister alive, and claim the high seat of the council that controls the world. Four rival families are hunting her for the throne, and whoever wins rules it all. So yeah, so it I think this is really the really cool thing about it is just that it really just really ups the game on everything. It's just like the it opens up literally on the end sequence of the first movie, which again I always think is funny when you end a movie and the person is like bloody and everybody else is dead. How do you explain that? Like,
Yeah.
you've killed the bad guy, but like, and especially in this instance with the first movie, everybody blew up and there's no
Hmm.
bodies, just there, bits of goo everywhere and blood. And they so I do think it's interesting that this kind of does follow up in like a kind of a real world situation where she's taken to the hospital, patched up, and she's in handcuffs. She's handcuffed to the bed. So I thought that was really a cool way of doing that because it's something that you never see in movies. So it
Hmm.
was really fun for that aspect of it to see that kind of real world in a way, um consequence to what's going to happen. Now, obviously, um, the people who are controlling the High Council want her to continue to play the game because apparently the new thing is that because she took out the Ladomas family, these other families need to play the game to figure out who's now going to be in charge. Now the Ladomas family isn't in charge of this High Council. Um, and to make sure that she plays the game, they pull her sister into it, Faith, played by Catherine Newton. So, yeah, no, and this has got great um, uh, other actors in this. Elijah Wood plays the lawyer. Sarah Michelle Gellar and Sean Hattasey play these this brother and sister, whose father is played by David Cronenberg. Um, you've got Nestor Carbonell, Kevin Durand, who also was with Catherine Newton back in Abigail, also by Radio Silence. So there's a lot of really good cast in this, playing a lot of fun characters. And it's just as crazy and fun and kind of insane as the first movie was. Um, so it just and it's funny too because I've watched some of the I don't usually watch it before I see the movie, but there's always the press stuff where the actors will go and promote the movie um on all these different things, especially on like YouTube channels and stuff like that. And so they were doing all this stuff, and you can tell that the actors really had a good time together because they're all very, much having fun in these interviews as well. So I like that, and they all seem to really get along well. And it was just kind of like the four of them: Elijah Wood, Sarah Michelle Gellar, um, Samara Weaving, and Catherine Newton in a lot of these.
Mhm.
So it's cool to see that they were just having a lot of fun. Um, with the movie and then later with the kind of the press tour type of stuff. So um but yeah, I think that just given the new scope, they've got to hunt her down. They got to kill her by before morning, or um or I think the devil comes back and destroys them all, and it's just somebody's got to be the head of the family, the high council or whatever, at the end of it all. Uh, and it's just it's an interesting thing. There's a lot more. Like the first one kind of just like hinted at the satanic vibes and everything, whereas this one's like a lot more overt about it. Um, and there's a like Kevin Durand's character, he tries to take her out, tries to take Grace out early in the
Mhm.
hospital while she's in the hospital, and because he tries to do that, he ends up breaking the rules and ends up getting exploded right there in the hospital. so
Yeah.
so it's pretty funny. I don't know. It's just the movie is very funny, very intense.
Mhm.
Um, just all over. But I love the sister vibes that Samara Weaving and Catherine Newton have in this.
Yeah.
Because in the first movie, um, she says Grace says that she's didn't want to have anything to do with her family, and you see that in this, she had left her family to go to New York or whatever to kind of go to school and everything, and she was supposed to eventually like bring her sister there and never did, and it's this whole tension throughout the whole movie between the two of them that they never had. They like there was this leftover tension between them, but so it made for a fun what's it called, a fun dynamic between them because it wasn't just
Yeah.
a good sister vibe. So what did you think?
I thought that the movie was really funny and very engaging. Like I never thought that there was like really a dull moment going on. And I thought that, like I said earlier, that all of the characters were like had were fleshed out really well and they didn't like succumb to tropes.
Hmm.
like that easily. Like sure, each character had their own like story and like kind of like characteristic, but it wasn't like tropey like that. And
Right.
um um I thought that the one particular scene that like stood out for me from that whole movie was them fighting like each other blindly in that ballroom area where the wedding was going to happen, and they're just like throwing punches at each other wildly, and they're like 10 feet away from each other. A really funny scene. And I talked to a coworker after I saw the movie about it, and that was the scene that we both were like, that was like the best scene out of the whole movie because it was just so funny and ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. No, I really liked a lot of this, like with the open expanse and this more
Hmm.
there's a little bit more of it like in the early evening, so there's a lot more light there at the beginning. They're able to go around to different buildings and going across like a golf course and stuff. So there's like lots more room in this than there was in the first movie.
Hmm.
Um and so I liked just for like set design purposes, this just was like so much more um going on with this. And then because the um one of the rules is that they could only use weapons from the time period that their family became members of this high council. So like Nestor Carbonell's character, he's able to use like a high powered like sniper rifle.
Yeah.
But Sarah Michelle Gellar's and Sean Hattie are using like much older weapons. So it's just it was funny because of these little uh you know bits and pieces in this that were just add all this extra depth to the whole thing. Um, and I like the whole relationship between Sarah Michelle Gellar and Sean Hattie as brother and sister. It was nice to see Sean Hattie too because he's getting kind of a bigger name for himself because he's been on the Pit. He's Dr. Abbott, and so he's been getting kind of that bigger name. So it was nice to see him show up because like I'm sure he's been in stuff over the last couple of decades, but I remember him mostly when he was younger and playing more like teenagers, young adult style things, and now he's older and grizzled, and so
Hmm.
um, so it's nice to see him getting some more love and getting into this getting into these kinds of things. But I don't know. I love their dynamic. Just both of them trying to weasel out who's going to be the actual head of their family now that their dad is dead, and they're the ones who trying to win the whole thing. So, um, but what about you? Did you have any favorite characters or anything?
I really, I mean, besides the two girls,
Grace and Faith.
Grace and yeah, Grace and Faith, I like the Chinese lady because I like that she was trying to like help them in a way, even though it
Yeah.
was kind of like not really what they wanted. But her saying that there was that workaround or that loophole or whatever
Yes.
gave her the opportunity to get out of it and go through with the plan that ended up ending the whole thing. So
Yeah.
it was like she kind of like without her telling them that, none of the ending would have happened. And so like she was kind of this catalyst, and I like that even despite like her character not lasting that long, she
Yeah.
still like impacted the story in that way.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. It's kind of like that story you were just talking about with your quiz. Like there was a character in the beginning who was barely
Yeah.
there, but affected things that happened later
Yeah.
on in the story. So,
Yeah. For anybody listening who wants to know, it was the book The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane. So it's a children's book, but it's a really good and like poignant book about the impact that um allowing yourself to love and be loved can make on you. So,
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, as usual, I really like Elijah Wood. He was
mhm.
great as the lawyer. He's very funny.
Yeah,
Um, he's just, definitely wasn't taking it seriously, and I love that.
yeah.
So, but yeah, like, I don't know, it just there was so much fun. I don't want to, like, get bit by bit into this, because I mean there is, as much as it's very different, there it is kind of very samey at the same time, because a lot of it's
Hmm.
just them hunting her down. um I did the one of the little mechanisms in this that was interesting too, was that only like one person from each family could be hunting them down, although I don't remember what the reason for both Sarah Michelle Gellar and Sean Haddis's characters, for them being able to do it at the same time. Maybe because
They
maybe
were
they were
siblings.
twins. They were twins,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
So, um, so anyway, so because of that, like, the other ones could only be one at a time. But if they died, then the next member in their family had to replace them and would be the person to go out on the hunt. So there were a couple of times where members of the family got killed, and the next person had to step up, and and there were some definitely some funny moments
I
in
don't
that.
think it was intentionally only one family could chase after them. I think that they were just separating themselves so they didn't accidentally kill the other family because then they would die. So I think they were, I,
No, there was some kind of rule about it. I remember there was
oh,
some kind
okay.
of rule
I
about it that
didn't
there could
think so,
only,
but
yeah. But there was some kind of like weird loophole with the twin, like I believe they were twins. I could be
yeah,
wrong, but
it
they
was because they were born basically at the same time. So it
yeah,
wasn't like they could do one or
yeah,
the other
something
compared to,
like that. But yeah, it made for an interesting movie, but there was definitely a lot going on. I think we'll get into kind of the spoilers. This is going to be kind of a fast episode today, a quick one, not like super in depth or anything like that, because it has been a bit since we actually saw it in the theater. We saw it on March 20th, and now it's been a little over a month now. So uh, so yeah, so it's just it's not super fresh in our memories.
mhm.
So we should have just recorded this the night of, like we said.
Yeah.
Um, we'll do that in the future if we do these. But I do think, you mentioned it earlier. There's a way that they figure the woman tells Grace and Faith that the way to do this without them dying is that they need to marry into one of the families, and then that would, kind of set everything right in a way. Um, and so, because she's basically the last Ladomas, if she marries into
Hmm.
whoever the other family is, then that person, they'll combine their families, blah blah blah. So she agrees to marry um, Sean Haddis's character, to save. I think she's just trying to save her sister at that point, and so she agrees to that. And then there's the whole wedding sequence at the end, and once she gets control of, basically she becomes the head of the whole thing and everything. She I think, I don't even remember how it all happened, but basically she manages to start taking them all out. And I think because she gets the ring of like the High Council and everything like that, and she throws it into this pit, and then everybody in the like everybody in there like starts diving into this pit and killing each other to get this ring. It's hilarious. It's a great sequence.
Hmm.
But her and then of course the inevitable explosions, because then the time goes past, and Mr. LaBelle
Hmm.
likes to explode people. So and then they walk out, and he nods his head again, like at her. She managed to beat the game. So her and her sister both. So yeah, no, it's a fun movie. Like, I'm not gonna say that like it's super original or anything like that, because it's not. It's very much, it's very similar to the first movie. It there's new because it's a game. It's they're still kind of playing hide and seek in this, but it's amped up. It's in a bigger location. There's more people. There's a lot more going on, and there's a lot more lore and world building in this
Mhm.
to kind of add to it. So if you like the first one, I think you'll like this new one. I really enjoyed it. I think the first one will still always be the best one, for sure. But if you like the first one, you'll probably like this one. It's definitely not like a bad movie at all.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's
I
not a copy.
No, and I don't think, yeah, it's not definitely not a copy in any way. It's a continuation with similar themes. It's just like kind of like with the escape room movies.
Yeah.
It's a escalation with a lot of the same similar things going on. It's just basically kind of very similar movies, but with
I'd argue that
everything amped up.
Ready or Not 2 is more dissimilar to Ready or Not than Tournament of Champions is to the
The first
first
escape
escape
room.
room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Not to say that Tournament of Champions isn't good, because I love those movies.
Yeah, no, the escape room movies are awesome. But yeah, no, this one's a lot of fun. I think definitely if you like the first one, you'll like this one. Um, and lots of great new characters, varied throughout, with amongst all the different families and stuff. It's just a lot of fun. Very much in keeping with the first one. Um, and I'm still on board for anything Radio Silence does, because they've been pretty much hitting on all cylinders for me. Um, so I'm excited to see whatever they have coming up next. Um, but do you have any last thoughts, Katrina, before we finish up here?
Nope.
Okay. So, all right. Well, that is all we have for this episode. Just a quick and dirty one, just to talk about this movie. I'm going to try to actually do some more of these, like, because it's something that I've been wanting to do this whole year. Besides like the John Carpenter stuff, this whole year is filled out with a lot of stuff from the last few years that I've wanted to talk about that didn't fit in my old double feature format so much. And so I'm trying to do that with, and normally I don't really, I try not, I haven't really covered too many current movies in whatever the year is that I'm doing it in. But I'm actually trying to plan it out a little bit better this year now. I'm hoping to have an episode on Lee Cronin's The Mummy up this weekend also. So I'm going to do that and um, get that up. And then hoping like next month I'll get an episode out on They Will Kill You, which is another fun movie that I got to see recently.
I need
So
to watch it.
yeah, you do. It's really
Patricia Arquette, my beloved.
but yeah, so I'm gonna try and do that like at least once a month. I think I'm gonna put out a special episode um of a current movie. So I'm looking at They Will Kill You coming up, Forbidden Fruits, Evil Dead Burn, of course, be coming out after my Evil Dead series. Um, I've got an episode for Spider-Man Brand New Day scheduled. And The Back Rooms is another movie. Plus, there's probably more that's coming out that I don't even know about that I'd really like to, that I'm probably going to want to talk about. But those are the ones that I'm kind of looking at so far to kind of pepper in throughout the year, because I think they will be a lot of fun to talk to, with other guests and such. So yeah, so stay tuned for that kind of stuff. Thank you, Katrina, for hopping on. We're kind of doing this super last minute, so this is actually going to get uploaded right after this, and it's gonna be the most probably the most
Getting
fresh.
this basically live.
Yeah, basically it's gonna be the super most fresh episode that we can get here. So all right. Thank you again, Katrina, and we will get you on again soon, I'm sure. And until next time, stay creepy. Thanks for listening. Creepy and Geeky is produced and hosted by Robert Clark. If you like what you've heard, please consider giving the show 5 stars and a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and share the podcast on social media to help spread the word. Make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast app or at creepyandgeeky.com. You can follow the podcast by going to creepyandgeeky.com and clicking on any of the social links. If you'd like to follow me, you can find my links at geekthulu.com. You can support the podcast by ordering teas and more on TeePublic or by donating to the coffee page. All of the links are in the show notes. Finally, don't forget, stay creepy.